What lurks in the shadows of our world? For centuries, humanity has told stories of forces beyond our understanding, and it is that seem to exist only to terrorize, torment, and possess. In America, from colonial farms to modern suburban homes, some families have reported encounters so terrifying they defy all rational explanation. These are accounts of alleged demonic attacks. It's important to note that assessing such events is subjective and varies greatly, depending on personal beliefs and interpretations. This is not a ranking, but an exploration of 10 of the most prominent and chilling cases in American history, based on the eyewitness accounts and paranormal investigations that made them infamous. Our first story takes us to Cottage City, Maryland, in St. Louis, Missouri, in 1949. It involved a 14-year-old boy known as Roland Doe after his spiritualist aunt passed away. The boy began experiencing terrifying phenomena consistent with classic demonic possession, including levitation, speaking in unknown languages, and violent contortion. The scariest reported attack occurred during the final exorcism rites, when words like evil and hell allegedly materialized on the boy's skin as raised red welts. Next, we travel to 112 Ocean Avenue in Amityville, New York. In 1975, the Lutz family moved into a home where an entire family had been murdered just 13 months prior. They fled in terror after only 28 days, claiming a demonic, inhuman spirit was in the house. The scariest reported attacks included Mother Kathy Lutz levitating over her bed, and a priest who came to bless the house being commanded by a booming, disembodied voice to get out. In Harrisville, Rhode Island, from 1971 to 1980, the Perrin family claimed to be tormented by the spirit of Bathsheba Sherman, a 19th century woman accused of witchcraft. They reported being pushed, slapped, and having their beds lifted by unseen hands. The most frightening attack allegedly occurred during a where Mother Caroline Perrin was said to be violently possessed, speaking in a strange voice before being thrown 20 feet across the room. Our story now takes us to West Pittston, Pennsylvania. From 1974 to 1989, the Smurl family claimed a violent demon had infested their home. They reported their dog being thrown against a wall, beds shaking violently, and a shadowy figure manifesting in their house. The most terrifying aspect of their claim involved repeated physical and sexual assaults on family members by an unseen entity. In a more recent case from Gary, Indiana, between 2011 and 2012, Latoya Amons and her children reported a terrifying haunting. This case is notable because it was documented by the police and the Department of Child Services. The scariest reported attack was witnessed by a DCS case manager and a family nurse, who stated in an official report that they saw Amons' 9-year-old son walk backward up a wall and onto the ceiling before flipping over and landing on his feet. We now go to Southington, Connecticut in 1986. The Snedeker family rented a house, only to discover it had been a funeral home where the morticians allegedly practiced necromancy. They claimed they were tormented by demonic forces. The most frightening attacks included Mother Carmen Snedeker being pinned to the floor by an invisible force, and mop water inexplicably turning the color and smell of blood while she was cleaning. In 1981, a case in Brookfield, Connecticut, made legal history. It was the first time a demonic possession defense was used in an American court. Arn Johnson killed his landlord and claimed he was possessed by a demon that had fled the body of young David Glatzel during an exorcism. Witnesses to that exorcism claimed the scariest part was seeing the boy levitate and be beaten by an invisible force, leaving scratches all over his body. Johnson had allegedly invited that same demon into himself to save the child. One of America's oldest legends takes us to Adams, Tennessee. Between 1817 and 1821, the family of John Bell was tormented by an intelligent, speaking entity that called itself Kate. The entity's attacks on John Bell were relentless, culminating in his death. A small vial of unidentified liquid was found near his body. The entity allegedly proclaimed, "I gave O.L. Jack a big dose of that last night, and that did him." In Wilder, Kentucky, stands Bobby Mackey's Music World, a nightclub considered one of America's most haunted locations. The site's basement well is rumored to be a portal to hell. Visitors report being scratched, pushed, and threatened by unseen forces. The most disturbing account involves a former caretaker who was allegedly possessed, an event captured in a chilling audio recording during an attempted exorcism. Our final story comes from Horicon, Wisconsin. In 1987, after buying a used bunk bed, the Tallman family was driven from their home by a terrifying haunting. The scariest attack occurred when the father, Alan Tallman, was lured to the garage by a disembodied voice. He saw raging green and orange flames that produced no heat or smoke, and which vanished without a trace moments later. Stories of demonic forces tap into our deepest fears of the unknown and the unseen. Are these events proof of a supernatural world that coexists with our own? Or are they elaborate hoaxes or the products of profound psychological distress? The truth, perhaps, remains in the shadows.